Hello, folks. My name is Benjamin Z. Miller. I am the co-founder of Andesite Blue. Andesite Blue is a United Kingdom company, and we invest into the emerging market of Ukraine. We offer a corporate income bond. In this presentation, I'm going to show you how our emerging market bonds can be a source of long-term passive income for you and allow you to do something really worthwhile, helping with the reconstruction of Ukraine when you make the wise decision to purchase an Andesite Blue bond. So let's go ahead and get started. This is an important presentation. Before I go through everything, I'm going to give a disclaimer. That disclaimer is that as accredited investors, you will be aware that all investments carry some level of risk. This investment is only available to investors who are able to assess their own appetite for risk. Please read the risk statement within the investment memorandum before investing. This is an important project. Much of the country of Ukraine has been damaged and destroyed. We've seen it in the newspapers, and we're all aware of what is going on in the country. The United Nations, the European Union, many governments from around the world are going to start paying to help rebuild Ukraine. The estimates for the reconstruction costs range considerably. Some estimates put the cost at $750 billion in reconstruction, ranging to over $1 trillion. So a tremendous amount of reconstruction is necessary. However, there is a massive opportunity for investors because there's not enough funding from governments to cover all of the expense of rebuilding Ukraine, and this creates an opportunity for private investment to help and to profit. When this war ends, there is going to be a gold rush, and investors will benefit the same as the rebuilding of Europe at the end of World War II. There is such a massive amount of reconstruction needed. Ukraine has become the largest construction site in the world. This is such an important project to be able to help Ukraine. Andesite Blue, our company was here before the war, we have been here during the war, and we will be here after the war. Within 3 days of the start of the Russian invasion, the invaders believed they would easily capture Kyiv. The invaders were wrong. The cities of Irpin and Bucha stopped the invaders. This heroic act came at a cost to the cities. 70% of the infrastructure in these cities were destroyed and many lives were lost. Now they face the task of rebuilding hospitals, schools and kindergartens, sports and cultural facilities, and first and foremost, reconstruction of homes for the citizens. This work started almost immediately. Irpin and Bucha are moving step by step towards recovery. 12 months after the liberation of these cities, 412 apartment buildings and 322 private houses have already been remade, ready for the citizens. Bucha and Irpin are following a clearly defined plan, and a lot of work is underway to rebuild the destroyed infrastructure right now in parallel with the development of a fundamental development strategy to be rolled out over the coming decades.
It was a real honor for Ukraine Invest to sponsor Ukraine House Davos this year, because there were a number of key things that came away from that engagement. There's 3 basic reasons that were stipulated. We had Sir Suma Chakrabarti, president of the EBRD, basically said that because of the government's reforms, Ukraine is open for business. I think that was a very key message for everybody to hear. The second message that we got was from business itself, major companies that basically said, look, Ukraine, because of the reforms that the government has undertaken, is now a stable, predictable, emerging market. We can wrap our heads around the risk-reward ratio and we can make money. And the third takeaway was that it was given to us by Horizon Capital that had just set up a $200 million private equity fund for investment into Ukrainian small cap companies, saying that Ukraine has highly valued assets that are underpriced, and that this was another fantastic opportunity that to catch Ukraine on the way up as the economy continues to grow.
The government of Ukraine has now created foreign investor protection, and this program is so well done. When you invest with Andesite Blue and you purchase one of our bonds, you are included. Now, Ukraine law provides a number of protections to foreign investors, and when you make the wise decision to purchase an Andesite Blue bond, you benefit from all of this protection on approved projects. Some of the things you get are the guarantee of transfer of profits from abroad, but we take care of all of this for you. Andesite Blue Bonds provide automatic diversification across a range of industries. Russia's invasion has had a devastating impact on Ukraine's health system. The war has brought about mass displacement of people and the destruction of infrastructure and supply chains. As of February 2023, over 18 million people had left Ukraine. 11,756 had been injured, 7,199 killed by the conflict, and 769 attacks on healthcare had been verified by the World Health Organization. For Ukraine, the war is an opportunity to reform the healthcare system. Financing of the health system will rely heavily on funds from overseas for the foreseeable future. Even while the fighting continues in the East, the government is working to implement reforms into the healthcare system to ensure facilities and coverage for the people of Ukraine. Investment by companies like Andesite Blue enables infrastructure to be paid for in line with retain and retrain programs for healthcare professionals. This ensures that rents and fees can be paid to developers and operators of these facilities on a concession-style agreement supported long-term by the state. Housing is the sector with the most direct economic damages from the Russian invasion. Currently, the damages are estimated at around $48 billion due to intense shelling of Ukrainian cities. The need to relocate 4.5 million internally displaced Ukrainians also creates an urgency to rebuild rapidly and in the right areas. Damage to critical infrastructure, including district heating and water supply, is also massive. It is estimated that 132,000 residential buildings, dozens of shopping centers, and other real estate has been destroyed or damaged. The Ministry for Communities and Territories Development of Ukraine reports that 60% of damaged buildings require major repairs. Immediate solutions to provide accommodation and strategic initiatives to improve living conditions need to be implemented. The business case is strong. Returning refugees will be the ones with employment. To start with, they probably won't have the resources to purchase homes, but they will be able to rent. In time, these same people may look to purchase these properties as and when they have reestablished their financial situations. With around $1 trillion worth of development to be done in the coming years, Ukrainian workers will be well employed, making housing a strong investment in Ukraine. Agricultural land in Ukraine is one of the best mid and long-term investment opportunities in the world. Ukraine's diverse farming zones provide an exceptional opportunity for farming ventures with livestock, seed production, field crops, and farm-to-fork foods. The cost of investment in Ukraine's farmland is the lowest in Europe, while it provides a high return potential given the high soil fertility and unrealized value potential of Ukraine's soils. Optimized investment costs in Ukraine's agricultural production, including land titles and capex, ranges from $700 to $1,800 US per hectare, compared to more than $4,000 US in America and $12,000 in Europe. At the same time, harvest yields in Ukraine suggest that a higher agroecological potential per hectare can be obtained under proper farm management and with the use of optimal technologies and innovative uses for farm output. This is a project that Andesite Blue will be doing with Ukraine NUA. Ukraine NUA is a company that is founded in the Republic of Ireland but is domiciled in Kiev. It is actually a Ukrainian development company. One of the projects that they are working on is based on this ambulatory center that is already operational in Bucha, Ukraine. We have shown you already the video of Bucha. This is an example of how it is progressing. Ukraine NUA will take this a stage further. On the ground floor will be ambulatory, a combination of GP surgery, dental, laboratory, fitness and well-being, and that is supported by the local government. Ukraine NUA will then actually build 4 floors of residential on top of this building to make it an economically viable option. There will be about 5,200 square meters of residential consisting of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom flats on top of the medical clinic. And the rent will be coming in from refugees who are returning. When the refugees return to Ukraine, however, they lose their refugee benefits. The only refugees returning will be the ones with jobs. They will be able to afford to pay their rent. But they will be coming back and their houses and their homes will have been destroyed and eliminated. So they have this need for the flats. They have the ability to pay their rent for the flats. They can also have the option to purchase the flats in a few years' time when they've managed to rebuild their lives. The alternative that Ukraine NUA will also be working on will be to build modular communities. These will be single-family homes or duplex, as you call them in the UK, semi-detached. These will be separate houses in a community. They will build 15 houses to start with, 1 and 2 bedroom houses. Once the 15 houses are all taken up by the returning refugees, the next phase will start with another 15 houses. In each of those communities will be built one of the central parts of the community. It might be retail, as in a small supermarket. It could be educational. It could be a medical facility. And all of this will be built using modular technology. Modular housing and modular flats and buildings can be built in about 60% of the time, meaning that it is cheaper to build and faster to deliver for the returning refugees. These buildings can last for 100 years without much difficulty, and they are being designed to be future-proof. So they are ready for those returning refugees to move back in and to start rebuilding their lives, get on with work, and live in a very good and positive way. Another project that Ukraine NUA have invited us to be involved in is export substitution of grain and agricultural products. As we all know, there is a real difficulty in exporting the vast amounts of corn and wheat from Ukraine because of the port being closed and the difficulty of getting enough of the product onto trains to take it out into Europe through Poland. There is an awful lot of product, grains and corn, that is lying in the fields, lying in silos, and a lot of it is getting past its sell-by date. By taking away the need to export the raw materials, the corn can simply be turned into a fuel product or an animal feed. We are building ethanol refineries and animal food refineries in location on the farms in the northeast of Ukraine. The first project is 18 million US dollars. It has already gotten a supply of corn waiting and off-take contracts ready to be executed for the ethanol and animal food that will come out of it. We need to build 10 of these around Ukraine. There is a massive opportunity for Andesite Blue to invest into these projects. The payback as well is within 1 year, and the IRR is 260%. A modern brick factory, such an important project in terms of reconstruction. There is tremendous demand in Ukraine now for brick and for concrete block. And this brick factory has an investment cost of $118 million. It's got a 36-month implementation period, and it is one that the government of Ukraine has already vetted as a project. It is such a great project. It's going to do so much to help with the reconstruction, and we are excited about it. We have an illustration of the returns that you can receive when you purchase an Andesite Blue corporate income bond. We offer a 36-month and a 60-month bond, and we pay from 7.15% interest to as high as 8.85% interest, depending on the term that you select and how often you want to receive payments. This illustrates how Andesite Blue's returns compare to other similar products. So Andesite Blue, if you were to choose our highest paying bond, you would earn 8.85% passive income. And that is a great return. If you compare it to, say, the S&P 500 index, the average return on that has been only 5.4%. And if you were to look at, say, U.S. bonds, the returns are even lower at 4.5%. You're investing into an emerging market. You're able to take advantage of high growth. And also, we don't charge our bondholders any fees. We don't charge our investors any fees. We have a simple business where we invest into projects that pay very high rates of return, and that allows us to pay 8.85% to our bondholders. So to provide some background on the history of Andesite Blue, the company was formed by myself and Mike Wilson in August of 2020. And we both were living in Kiev, Ukraine, under different circumstances. We both were American businessmen, and we happened to meet at the gym. We were introduced by a Ukrainian businesswoman who knew both of us, and she suggested that we meet each other. We got to talking, and we both had a passion for the country. We loved Ukraine. We had both been living there several years, and we decided that we wanted to do something on a larger scale because we saw so many worthy projects that needed investment, so many capable teams and companies that needed investment, and just so much opportunity. And it was something where we knew that we could do a good job with that, and we wanted to help. So we decided to put this together on a larger scale, and we put together a top-notch team to support that effort. The team that we have working for you at Andesite Blue has 250 years of business experience, and I highly encourage you to take a few minutes and go to www.andesiteblue.com and just look at the team profiles there that has a lot more information on their backgrounds. We have Steve Dyball, who's our Senior Operations Management. We have Nigel Brigden, who is our Chairman of the Board of Directors. We have Christina Katrakis, who is our International Investment Coordinator, and we have Tetiana Kiltika, who is our Corporate Secretary. We have Vasil Mildnik, who's on the business development team. He's a former director in the Ministry of Finance in the government of Ukraine. We have Anatoly Landman on the business development team. Dr. Mark Hong is our chief medical officer. We have Andrew Richings, who's a corporate consultant he has the company Thomas Kelly Holdings, and he brings a lot to the team. Please check out the profiles of our team at andesiteblue.com. That concludes our presentation. I want to thank you for coming to the presentation. If you are seeing this on the internet, we have these every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. UK time, and you are invited. With Andesite Blue, you can earn a significant passive income long-term for many years. You can invest into worthwhile projects that help the reconstruction of Ukraine. You have a great team that's working for you. We are available at any time to assist you. Please just reach out to us at www.andesiteblue.com. I wish you a good day.